Good morning, everybody. Today is February 2nd. We in the middle of blizzards and stuff around in this area, but we are together at the Women in Business meeting, and today's speaker is Tiffanie Artis. She owns Howell Driving School and Jeans Driving School, and she's going to teach us how to navigate the New Jersey Motor Vehicle Commissions. Thank you, Tiffanie. Go ahead.
All right. Very good. Thank you, everyone. I'm so glad that Therese reached out to me, and I appreciate the time. I just, we've spent a lot of time in New Jersey Motor Vehicle Commission, and we also I get a lot of questions about all sorts of things about it, how to navigate, et cetera. So I thought this would be a good topic for us to review. So just a quick review of our business, and thank you, Ivy, for doing such a great job of introducing. My husband and I own two driving schools, Howell Driving School and Jeans Driving School. We've been serving Middlesex, Monmouth, and Ocean counties for the past 59 years. And I think what's wonderful is that we were able to buy two businesses starting in 2018 that were already really solid foundation businesses, and we have been able to grow them even in a pandemic. So I want to thank all of you all for your support over the last 2 years, especially during the pandemic, because this group helped us continue to grow and thrive. So just a quick review of our services. So our specialty is our 16-year permit program, where we give vision written tests. We can give a certification of completion, which can help you get insurance reductions for premiums. We also do one-on-one lessons. So the 6 hours behind the wheel is our signature program. We pick up and drop off at home. And we really are also able to work with students who have special needs or anxiousness or anxiety of getting in the car. Our other big signature program is our Road Test Plus Refresher, where we have a 96% pass rate on the first try. And, it gives that student that just little push in order to get through and get that coveted license. And we also do defensive driving courses for our adults. So if you need 2 points off your insurance, or if you just want to get a premium reduction, I have something for you as well. Just a quick review. We are partners with New Jersey Motor Vehicle Commission. We are state licensed through them. We are fingerprinted and background checked in order to become driving instructors, as well as owners of driving schools. And we have to go through a process. We have to pass the vision written road test exams in order to become, and we have to certify that with every year. And we're also able to process paperwork and handle documents for New Jersey Motor Vehicle Commission. So we're very much tied to them. And I think it helps to give our parents a bit of security when it comes to, putting their children in the car with us. And I think that's important. So with that, it tells you, okay, so she probably spent quite a bit of time in New Jersey Motor Vehicle Commission. I do. And that leads me into how are we navigating, New Jersey Motor Vehicle Commission during this time. So one of the things, it is our largest state agency in the state of New Jersey. And they have struggled, when we all closed down in March of 2020, they were one of the last offices to open. So they did open in July 2020, and they've experienced severe delays, long lines, and just overall poor customer service. Overall, it has been a nightmare. It has gotten better, but there's reasons why it's gotten better. One is the weather. People just can't stand outside the way that they want, but also they have done some things to help to navigate, and that's what I wanted to share with you all today. So what's the first thing that I could tell you to help you navigate? The first is let your fingers do the walking. Go to njmvc.gov first before you do anything. Why? Because they have put a lot of things online, which allows you to do it you can skip the trip, so you don't even have to show up to an agency. They also have posted, they've had a lot of closures over the last 6 months due to COVID. So it's the best place to get the latest and greatest of what what agencies are open, what aren't. You're also able to make appointments. There are a lot of things that they've moved to appointment only, which means you don't have to wait up in line. Now, the appointments may be further out. They could be a month or two, which means you got to start early. But being able to make an appointment versus just to show up or walk up, makes it much easier. And they also have a lot of updated frequently asked questions there. So I always say, go there first, njmvc.gov. There's a lot of great information. A lot of times you may find out that you won't have to go. Some things that they started that helps you to skip the trip. For example, sometimes you can do your registration or your new license registration online, but sometimes your picture is too old. They've gotten rid of that. So you could actually go online, renew your license without ever having to go. So there's just some things that they've done with njmvc.gov that helps you to skip the trip and let your fingers do the walking before you go. The second is that know where to go if you do have to go. The agency has been split into vehicle or licensing centers. So can you imagine someone going to a licensing center when they need to do a vehicle registration, standing in line for 2 hours only just to find out that they've gotten to the wrong place? So it is helpful to know where to go. The vehicle centers now are by appointment only. You actually have to go to njmvc.gov before you can go. So this is if you have to do a new car registration. Let's say you bought a car from a private dealer or a private person, you have to go in person to do it. That requires an appointment. The ones in our area are Lakewood, Hazlet, and South Brunswick. So those are the places that you can go if you need to go. A vehicle center, again, it requires an appointment. Licensing centers are a lot of the services are by appointment, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But in our area are Freehold, Eatontown, and Toms River. If you have to do a walk-in service, you got to get there early to get a number. I know it sucks, but to give you an example, if a student has passed their road test and they need to get their probationary license, it does require a walk-in. So we recommend that you don't go the same day as your road test. You go the next day early and you can get a number. The other thing that they've done, which has given a lot of flexibility, is that once you pass your road test, you actually have 60 days to drive on that permit as a temporary license. So it gives you some flexibility that if you don't need to go into the DMV, you're able to, have some flexibility, and that student can drive at that moment. And that helps parents because, they really want that license, and that's giving you some flexibility that you don't have to go that day. Okay. And then finally, make sure you have the right documents. The worst thing is that you get to the DMV and you don't have a piece of documentation, and guess what? They can't take you, which means you got to make another appointment. You got to show up again. So again, going to knowing what you need is important. To give you an example, Real ID, it actually requires 8 points of identification in order to do it. And it's going to be a requirement for all of us if we want to fly domestic flights by October 2021 without a passport. And so you can see that little star is there. It also requires an appointment. There is an appointment based for Real ID. And so you can see actually online, they show all the documents you may need to get a Real ID. And again, this is just an example, but there's lots of things, whether it's a vehicle registration and or you need to get some new documents, whatever it may be, just make sure you have the right documentation so that you don't have to flip and have to go back again. So finally, I just want to share our information. So my husband and I, we jointly run Howell Driving School and Jean's Driving School, but to keep our marriage sane, so I don't need Miss Joanne's services. He runs Jean's and I run Howell. And then we come together at home when we need to. And so Howell Driving School, we do from Manalapan and Englishtown all the way down through Jackson and Brick. And G's Driving School can go from Marlboro all the way up to Hazlet, Old Bridge, Aberdeen, Homedale. And so if you look, you can see that they are structured. And if you want to call either one of us, you can, and we can direct you to the right location. But most kids and students know where to go because their friends are using. And so with that, I thank you for your time. Drive safely. And is there anything that you need from a driver education perspective? Any questions? That I am here to help. So thank you.
Wow. So not only did we do good, but you did good. And we have time, for questions and answers. Therese, can you take that screen
Yeah,
down?
Tiffanie, stop sharing your screen and we'll get questions. Yeah.
I'm going to start by saying, I think I heard you say that you can help with reducing auto insurance. Is that true?
Yes. So we have a program. It's called Defensive Driving. It is a course, and you can take it and then you get a certificate and you can turn it into your insurance. You're able to do it every 3 years. We'll give you a 5 to 10% reduction on your premiums. And see, Gilda is shaking her head, and you should see it, everyone. You can take it every 3 years. It also, every 5 years, if you have points on your license through New Jersey Motor Vehicle Commission, you can take 2 points off, which also helps with premium reductions on your insurance. So yes, we do the course. I would say I try to get at least 3 to 5 people in the course before I do one, but depending on where you are, I'm happy to also do it one-on-one. And we need to, figure out how to do it virtually. The last one I gave was, believe it or not, March 14th, 2020. And now I have taken it so that I can do it virtual so that you still get the premium reduction. But yes, that is a course that I am certified to provide and give. So
my questions are, if you have 3 people on your insurance, because Gilda knows that I don't care. She said I'm still working on it because I pay over $400 a month on car insurance, and we don't, thank God, even have accidents or anything. So I'm like, and I'm worried about what's to come with everything. So with that said, do all 3 of us have to take the course, or one?
Yes, all 3 of you would need to take the course, and I could specify for you. For example, if all 3 of you could take it, we could do it virtually, and you could be in your home, I can be here, and we can go through it. It is a 6-hour course, but I will say I have perfected it to get it into 2 hours, and you don't miss anything.
Listen, I'm a realtor, and I have to do the continuing education, and I got licensed when we didn't even know how to spell continuing education.
Yeah.
And so Gene, his name happens to be Gene. He could take like a 5-day course and put it into like 2 days. So you guys are awesome. And then how much is the course? Do you know?
So the course is $60 per person. If it's just for insurance, if you need the points, it's an additional $25 because it requires more documentation to New Jersey Motor Vehicle Commission.
Okay. And this is something that we should all consider, because I'm not kidding. The price of everything is going sky high. If you think we're struggling now, we're it's going to get worse, in my opinion.
And, I'm happy to do, if you want a group course to everybody, we could do a discounted rate and get everyone done. So I offer that to the group. If that's something that you want to do, we can certainly set that up.
You know what, Tiffanie?
We look into that.
We can actually send out an email to chamber members. You might need to do more than one class.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Do you know, I mean, Gilda might have to answer this, but do you know how much it could save you? What did you say, 5 to 10%?
Yeah.
If I may, Tiffanie, wonderful.
Yes, please.
Yes, it can save depending on how serious the points are, how serious the offense is. I can tell you both New Jersey and California have the worst records. And I can tell you that in California, a client that I used to have got stopped by a policeman, tried to tell the policeman that he was from Germany and couldn't speak English. Oh, wait, it gets better. And the cop told him in perfect German, doesn't matter where you come from, 95 is higher than 75. Wow. He got the ticket plus points, and his insurance premium tripled.
Wow.
Yeah,
So-
it's insane. I mean,
Do
so
the best you
So
can.
can I just mention that the government was kind enough to pass a new law this week that is absolutely going to impact your insurance policies. They're making it much easier for people to sue.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
and it's not just auto, you can expect in New Jersey to see an increase in your insurance policies. So anything that'll decrease it is something good, right?
Mhm.
So in other words, what I said 5 minutes ago is correct. Okay. And again, I'm not taking any platform because there's no platform to take.
Nope.
But you can't get things for nothing. It's going, eventually somebody has to pay for stuff. And unfortunately, we're looking at who pays for it, which is us.
Right.
So, and the reason I'm saying this is because at Veitengruber Law, we do bankruptcy as well. And obviously in real estate, but we do bankruptcy and I do foreclosure defense. I've been doing that since 2007 as a HUD counselor. If you don't look at your budget, knowing that things are going to increase, free consultation, call me and I keep everything confidential. So with that said, Tiffanie, I think that might be, in my opinion, another great business
Opportunity.
avenue to explore, because this is me talking. I mean, Gilda knows. I was like, here, take everything. Tell me how I can save. She's like, you can't.
Yeah.
And she was honest. And I highly recommend Gilda. She was honest. I couldn't save a dime. But if I can save a dime taking a course and making my husband take a course, but taking the course.
Can I share how we save, since we were talking about saving money? So both of my kids get a pretty substantial discount for a good student award. If their GPA is above, I think it's a 3.6, then they get a discount on insurance. There's an app that you could put on your phone where they monitor your braking, your acceleration. That's also a discount. And then they did take the course, so, but you have to renew that. And then now that they're staying home and their college is virtual, I sent in my miles to the insurance, all four of us. It just came back, and actually I have it over here, and we all got a discount. Mine was like $46 for because it's every 6 months, but everybody got a discount because they're not commuting like they used to. So those are ways to save. Just thought I'd share.
No, this is what we're all here for, sharing.
Sharing is caring. Virtual hugs to all. I miss you all. So
Thank you.
I know, that's crazy.
I just want to interrupt for a second. We have a few questions in the chat. I want to see if we can quickly address them before we run out of time. So we have Micheal Lowe here. She said, any advice on surrendering plates? I leased a new car and I need to turn in the old plates.
Okay, yeah, so very simple. You no longer, now they actually have drop-off bins at every location. So you don't have to go to just the vehicle center. So for example, you can go to Freehold, you drop them off, you don't have to stand in line. There's a bin right in front, and then they will send you a receipt to say that you dropped it off. So they'll send it to the address on record. So no longer having a big issue about dropping off plates. Just drop them in one of the bins at any location, and they will send you a receipt that they received.
Excellent.
Good question.
And Ro, you had a question. Why don't you guys just ask your questions? Go ahead.
Okay, so I want to sell one of our cars to my son for like $1. But he's here now, but he's leaving in like a week to go back down to Florida. And do we need to be together to get this exchange? And
so you can sign over the title, and I'm a little fuzzy, but I think you can sign over the title, but he will probably have to go to the DMV and get it registered. But is he going to get new plates in Florida, or is he keeping the New Jersey? Is he going to switch to New Jersey? Okay, so then he's going to have to go, and they probably, depending on the value of the car, they may require him to pay taxes on it. And you could possibly get a bill in the mail if they don't do it right then. Sometimes they do it at that moment, and then he would have to pay that along with the change over in title. So he probably is going to have to make an appointment for that at one of those 3 locations, and it may not be done within a week. I would keep checking because that vehicle is by appointment only for something like that.
That's appointment only. Okay.
Wow, they figured out.
But does my husband and like say him, it's in his name, have to be together simultaneously?
I don't think so. If you signed it over, but I would go online, go to njmvc.gov, and they're going to tell you all the places if you need to register, what you would need to do to turn over the title to someone else. And if it's in your husband's name and you want to trade, they may, but I would go online and see what all documents you would need and who needs to be there.
Thank you. I wasn't sure if it was your
Tiffanie,
wheelhouse, but thank you.
Yeah.
I have a question regarding registration, vehicle registration.
Vehicle registration.
Yeah. As usual, the spouse goes running around doing all the other end of the work while the vehicle is registered on the spouse's name. Now, if for a couple of them, I need to walk in for some reason, I'm not able to register the vehicle. Now, they're saying there's a power of attorney needed if it is in somebody else's name. Does that also apply to a spouse, or is it just parents or something?
So if you are a spouse, I believe you are able to do it. However, you have to have the exact same address as the person what's on the registration. So again, I would go online at njmvc.gov, but I did hear them say that if you have the same address and you can prove that a spouse, you are able to do it on behalf of that spouse.
Okay, so I have to take my marriage license,
something, right? Or if you have your driver's license and you have the same address as what's on the registration materials, you probably won't have to take your marriage license.
Okay, all right, that's.
But look online, because it is something very specific about spouses and showing that you are a spouse in order to help register the car.
But it can still register under my husband's name. It's just that they need proof.
Correct.
That,
right. What I understand is that you may have time to do it and he can't. Can you register a car on his behalf? And that's what you're talking about, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
He's not even here, so that's
gotcha.
Everybody knows
so he
here.
Couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. He couldn't do it anyway. So you need to get the car registered. So check online, but I'm pretty sure if you can show that you are at the same address as what's on the registration, you should be able to do it.
Okay,
I'm just confused because I just did my registration online.
Correct, but this is a new car, right? Is this a new car? Yeah, I'm assuming she's got to make an appointment. You have to make an appointment at a vehicle licensing center, but you don't want to get there and not be able to do it. So that's your point, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Before we go, I just want to introduce Chanell is on the call. She's the office manager for Howell, and I asked her to join. So she is a part of the family, and if you don't get me, you will get her. And she is truly amazing and keeps the office running in tip-top shape. So just wanted to say who she is.
I was calling out before because I saw her name. And welcome, Chanell. Any other questions for Tiffanie? I mean, like, you think that when you hear driving school, it's just, when my kid was 16 years old, but it's so much more than that. And with the way the world changed and what's going on with the DMV, which was really affected. I mean, when we did our community chat with Tiffanie, you were pretty much shut down. You weren't doing anything at that time.
Yeah.
And we've all had to navigate, how to register. I mean, I did my license online. I didn't put it in the mail.
A lot of things are online now. A lot of times you can skip the trip. You'd be surprised, and they're literally adding new services every day online to try to cut down on the traffic at each of the agencies. So you just be surprised that there are a lot of things that you don't have to go actually to the DMV for.
I do have a quick question. Hi, Tiffanie. Thanks so much.
Hi, Devin.
I do have a couple Girl Scouts working on Gold Award and Silver Award projects, and a couple of them involve like biking safety, driving safety. One of the Spring Lake Heights. She says there's a lot of accidents, a lot of texting and driving. So if they're looking to reach out to the DMV or to driving schools to maybe get some information or to have pamphlets dropped off, are you willing to work with the girls? Do you know how willing the DMV might be able to work with the girls? I know you don't work for the DMV, but I wanted to get your advice.
So they do have a lot of pamphlets on, I would say probably teenage driving, and they're willing to give them for free if they have them. I will tell you, they actually have cut a lot of, due to costs, on printing. So they passed on the printing to driving schools and others. I do have quite a few pamphlets about just teen driving in general that I'm happy to give. I also have what are the requirements for getting your permit and your license and so on. So I'm happy to give what we have, but yes, they do have them. I would just say you would need to go to a licensing center like Freehold or Eatontown and ask whether they have pamphlets that they could give. And they're definitely, if they have them, they're more than willing to share.
Awesome, thanks.
I just wanted to, this is Erika. I just wanted to give a testimonial to my son.
You, Erika.
You're welcome. My son used jeans last year for my son. He got his license in September, and I just want to say that they make the process very easy. They're very accommodating in terms of scheduling for those driving hours that the kids need in terms of pickup and drop off. And I would say the instructor that my son had was very good, and allowed him really to show, to challenge him as well, which was good because, it's always scary as a parent seeing your kid going on, on the road for the first time by themselves. And then in terms of getting his license in September, just after everything opened, it was actually very, very, pretty streamlined. The testing timeframe, as well as actually getting his license. So Tiffanie, just for my son, when he went back that second day, even though he was there first thing in the morning, they're actually pulling those kids out of the line and putting them through first to get their license, so they don't have to sit through and wait all day, primarily because they're in school, right? So they did do some priorities with that as well, but definitely recommend they have their system down pat.
Thank you, Erika. Thank you so much.
My last kid is going to be Tiffany's customer too. I have to wait till April. He has his blue card and everything, but I have to wait till he turns 16. Officially turned 16.
I think
you don't have to wait. If you want to bring him in, we can get all the documents done and get his lessons scheduled. So you don't actually have to wait until he turns 16 to sign him up. You just have to, we just have to wait for the lessons. So what we would do is when you came in, we schedule the lessons about 2 weeks after his birthday so that he can get started as soon as possible. So no, you don't have to wait till he's 16 to come in.
Oh, cool. I'm calling you today.
Awesome.
I think Tiffany knows everybody's teenager. And I wish I had a Tiffany when my son was going to driving school. It was a disaster. And I have to say that I say this over and over and over for years. You do business with somebody you like, you see, and you trust. And when it comes to your children, you have to trust the person who's teaching them to drive. My son's is 24. He's been driving since 17. I have yet to go in the car with him. So he didn't go to Tiffany's school, just so you know. And I love it. Skip the trip, and then there's the click it or ticket. So you guys are doing really good with the slogans.
Yeah.
So does anybody else have any questions before I wrap up the meeting?
Actually, I do. I think we might be donating the car. It's not actually running right now, but my husband has a car that doesn't have the title. So how do you go about doing that? The car's old. It's got over 270,000 miles on it.
Great question.
Yeah. So
titles,
but I think it's
not having a title is hard. What happens is that, and I know the insurance people can talk to this, is that it lowers the value of it. They almost have to, what's the word? They have to scrap it when you don't have a title, and then it's not worth more than $100, $200. So that is, if I'm right, without a title, it's very challenging to donate and get anything for it.
Oh, no, we
I'll open it up to the
donated cars.
right. I'm just saying it's hard because then they can't do anything with it per se except to scrap it. So I'll let the other insurance people talk, but I'm pretty sure that it lowers the value.
Oh, thank you for telling me that.
Without a title.
Okay, thank you.
Can I just ask a quick question on that? Oh.
Yeah.
2 sentences. You can go back to the vehicle manufacturer and let them know when you think the car was built. You can try it that way. Or if there was a car loan, you can probably go back to whoever you had the car loan with. But what Tiffany just said is very true. Good luck.
Okay.
Great. And I'm going to wrap up the meeting. We started losing everybody. Like I said, your time is valuable. So I just want everyone to remember nothing great was ever achieved without being open to change. And that's what we've been going through for the past year and will continue. Change is good. And again, I look at Erika all the time. I get this off of Facebook and we have a lot of the same friends. So you probably heard this. A couple of kids asked me today what it's like for me growing up. So I took their phones, shut off the internet, gave them a popsicle and told them to go outside until the street lights came on. So with that said, everybody have a fabulous month. I hope to see, who's the speaker next month, Trace?
Oh, goodness gracious. So next month, the speaker is, I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm sorry.
Okay, so we have a mystery speaker, but I know you know her.
Paula Alzarelli from Earthshare, New Jersey. She's
that's
fabulous.
it. That's right.
Fabulous.
And I'm very anxious to hear what she has to say. Everybody stay warm. I hope you have a safe trip home from this meeting. I know it was treacherous.
Right to the kitchen.
I just want to say one thing. I want to thank Center State Healthcare System for sponsoring today's Women in Business meeting. Thank you to Tiffany. Thank you to Ivy. Thank you to everyone for being here today.
And thank you for whoever's nominating the next Athena nominee and finding us sponsors as well. So thank you for that in advance. Tiffany, thanks.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.
Thank you. Good presentation. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Be well, be safe.
Nice seeing you.